Hey, remember me? It's Greg from Baseball and Whatever. How are you doing? Hey, that's great. We should do that sometime. Before we get this episode started, let me tell you about Belly Up Sports. Why, it's only the finest source to get your news on the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, fantasy sports, and more. Whether it's through forums or articles, or their extraordinary podcast network, Belly Up Sports has you covered. They are the Internet's sports bar. Visit bellyupsports.com and follow them on all social media platforms. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you soon.
Welcome to Baseball and Whatever with your hosts, Justin McAwee.
Because I was on campus and I had to appear like I was one of the cool kids, I would put the Star Wars book inside one of my textbooks so it looked like I was just studying for class.
All right, look. There's only one return, okay? And it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi.
Greg Probst.
If you look at most Bond fans movie rankings, they have Casino Royale and Majesties in their top two. For me, these actually rank in the bottom part of my list. I mean, I love them, but they don't compare to Diamonds Are Forever.
Stop getting Bond wrong!
And Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
I'm a glorified fact checker.
Last I checked, the most runs in a game wins.
Actually, I am a fact checker.
Alrighty, guys, it is Thursday night. That means we're recording for Friday when this drops. It is Baseball and Whatever, episode 43. I'm here. It's Justin. We got Vinny. We got Greg. We are ready to rock. This week, we have plenty of discussion on the cluster that is the MLB Lockout and Rob Manfred and the MLB PA, and they can't even stay in a room together for 15 minutes today. So we'll get into that. I think maybe we'll do a little recap on the Super Bowl if there's anything specific you guys want to mention. A couple little tidbits on Olympic hockey I got for you, and then we will get into kind of a nostalgic topic. We're going to talk about favorite birthday gifts and favorite birthday parties. Had a few people write in. I think we all got a few of, there's a few birthday parties I remember when I was a kid that I really enjoyed. So we'll talk about that, and we'll wrap it up, and we'll start the weekend then. So without further ado, if you want to contact the show, you can tweet us at baseballandwhat. You can email us at baseballandwhatever@gmail.com or baseballandwhateverpodcast at bellyupsports.com. Facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. YouTube, search Baseball and Whatever. We are also available on each and every podcast app that you can find podcasts on. But before we get started, we like to go over some famous numbers of the podcast episode we're on of Chicago sports. And we are on episode 43. Holy cow. We have quickly hit midlife crisis here. Famous 43s. Greg, I'll throw it to you first. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't have a ton for the Cubs, Bulls, or Bears, but I got a ton for the White Sox right here. A lot of names right here. You Sox fans will enjoy, a lot of pitchers. So obviously the guy right now is Evan Marshall, or at least he was. I don't know if he's still on the team or if he's a free agent or something, but he was the most recent 43. And then I got my man from back in the day, like 2000, Herbert Perry, famous third base.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
World Series champion, Damaso Marte. My guy, he was so good that year.
I forgot about him. Lefty, right? He was a lefty?
He was. And then when Freddie Garcia's return, someone already claimed 34. So I think it was Gavin Floyd. So he had to flip those numbers around and put on 43. Closer Addison Reed, Dan Jennings. And then this guy was another hero from the infamous MLB 2K8 White Sox dominant team where we went like 162-0 was Aaron Wasserman. You guys probably have no idea who the hell that is.
No, I don't have a clue.
Outside of his name being on here on Baseball Reference, no.
He was terrible from In real life, but in 2K8 he was a stud. So
That's right. I remember you mentioning him in the past, I think. The only two I have one Cubs player and one Blackhawks player. Cubs, for some reason, I really liked him as a relief pitcher. That is number 43, Michael Wirtz, which I think Greg had too. There we go. That's much better, Vinny. And then the only one for the Blackhawks I could think of, it was one of my favorites for a little while. It was a defenseman. It was James Wisniewski, number 43, probably like from 05, 06 to 2009, maybe. He got traded, or he left the team right before they hit the Stanley Cup run. So he was a good defenseman, really good fighter. I remember he tore his ACL in a fight. Then he was out. And I got to see that fight. He kicked the crap out of that guy and then fell and tore his ACL too on top of that. So,
oh man.
Yeah. So that's par for the course for Blackhawks fans. But those are the two I had. So
what did you like about Michael Wirtz, Justin?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's just not. He spells his name differently than the Blackhawks.
And the Blackhawks owners. I feel like he had a couple good runs where he was a really solid reliever, and then he would quickly fall out of that and be god awful. So that
must be the part I remember.
I must have picked him up. I think it might have been like a 2K where I would pick him up and he was decent too on the video game, maybe. But So those are your
Aaron Wasserman.
He was my Aaron Wasserman. Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go.
Wasserman. I can't remember. Nice.
What else you got, Vinny?
Okay, Greg, you got all the socks on my list.
Yes.
For the Cubs, I have Trace Thompson, currently is 43.
Oh, God, I forgot he was even on the team.
Dan Winkler, Adam Warren.
From the World Series,
from the Yankees, yeah.
That's
the World Series year, yeah.
Dennis Eckersley.
Oh, I forgot 43? He was a Cub.
Oh,
yeah, that's
he was
right.
a long time 43.
Yeah.
Hank Sauer, former MVP.
No clue on that one.
1949. And Peanuts Lowry. That's a
I like that name.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
1942. So yeah, that one I wasn't expecting.
I feel like the further back you go in baseball, the nicknames get better. Now they're not that good.
Or just the names in general.
I think the names in general.
It was just their names. Yeah.
Give me a good, Honus Wagner any day, and you don't hear many Honuses, Honai. You don't hear that often very often.
What Honai at? Hey, Vinny, speaking of Honus Wagner, remember when I sent you that tweet about like half the Honus Wagner card, like the Messiah of baseball cards or whatever? It was still going for like $500,000 or something like that.
That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable for half a card, but
I know. Well, it's better than a non-fungible token.
Oh, yeah. God. I'm so over NFTs. Oh, my God.
You hear it everywhere. It's right? Sickening.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
For the Bears, not Khalil, but Ladarius Mack is 43.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Prozinski.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a cornerback or a safety.
I was going to say a defensive back, maybe.
Yep. Joik Bell. You guys remember Joik Bell?
I know the name.
The name sounds familiar. Yeah.
He played with the Lions, and then he went to the Bears, and he played
the Lions. I remember him on. That's
and then Tony Fiametta. You guys remember Tony?
No.
That was a running back, fullback. And then from 1952 to 1961, Jim Dooley.
Oh, okay.
For the old farts out there.
All right.
For the Bulls, really nobody. Corey Blount.
I remember him. Yeah, I remember him. I don't remember him being very good, but I remember him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And then, two other guys I didn't remember. Not a lot of 43s on the Bulls. Maybe, was it Tristan Thompson can take 43 for the Bulls that they're supposed to sign him.
That's right. I heard about that. Yeah.
I have Victor Svedberg. Is that right?
Yes. I think his first. Yes. He never really panned out, but I do remember him being, I think, a defenseman for the Hawks. Yeah. Now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
Brandon Sodwar, 43. And
yes, I think. Before he got, what was he? 20? I don't remember what he was now. 20? I think he was 20. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have his jersey.
Okay.
And then Nathan Dempsey.
Oh, God. Yeah. He was, I want to say he was a defenseman. He didn't really do too much. But yeah, those were some of the dark days of the Blackhawks organization, much like the ones we're in now. So
much like the current times.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we will move on to 44 next week. But there's your famous 43s, or infamous 43s in Chicago sports. I don't know. Some of them aren't really famous, but there you go. Well, thank you, Vinny. We are going to go to our comments section now. We don't have any text, but if you would like to send a text or a voicemail in, that number is 913-808-3278. That number again is 913-808-FART. Oh boy. All right. But we do have one YouTube comment. So Greg, take it away.
Of course, it's our guy on YouTube, Glucosamine Chondroitin, Glucose Condom. Dumb and Dumber is awesome. Yeah, would agree with that. Only made the top 5. The shit scene and the Kane sword fight at the owl party is so great. Yeah,
I forgot about the Kane scene. The Kane fight.
It's so brief, but it's hilarious. And then of course, what is it? I think Harry whacks Lloyd right between the knees or something, or
drops him. Yeah,
after he knocks his hat off or something. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Time out." And he goes on to say, I never hear people talk about Apollo 13. Then this episode, a bunch of people love it. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm with you right there because it's such a good movie and not a lot of people talk about it. But yeah, it's fantastic. So I hope you like it, Glucose, because I certainly love it. So
yes, and that was, if you're tuning in and you didn't get a chance to listen to last week's episode, that is in reference to our top 90s movies, which I'm still going back and forth on certain things I would change if I did it again. I don't know about you guys, but that's just how I
did the list change already.
Yeah, the list might have already changed. That's how I operate. So yeah, feel free to write in YouTube, email, tweet, Facebook comments, or the text line. Let us know what you think. All right, we are going to go to our first official segment now. Greg's Hot Takes.
Greg's Hot Takes.
That's how you want to get nuts. Come on.
Hell yeah.
All right, want to get nuts?
Uh-oh.
Let's get nuts.
There we go. All right. Awesome. Greg, what do you got for us? What's making you angry this week?
Actually, nothing's really making me angry, which is surprising. Let me walk that back a little bit.
You got to preface that. Yeah.
I was going to start with one thing. Well, let's start with the good news first. And it's so appropriate for the lovely drop that that you guys created. Did you guys see Michael Keaton in the bat suit for like the Batgirl movie that's coming out?
No.
Okay, there are 4 photographs. So if you're unfamiliar, there is a Batgirl movie coming out as part of the DCEU. I don't know the actress that's playing Batgirl. I looked up her name. I forgot what it is already. It probably shame on me. But Michael Keaton is in it. J.K. Simmons is returning as Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know if Ben Affleck is in it. I don't know if this is getting into like multiverse stuff. I think they're doing that in the Ezra Miller Flash movie. But either way, there are 4 stills or 4 production shots of Michael Keaton in a new bat suit. And it is like a fucking hard-on, man.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll throw a picture up or something for the video. Maybe we'll throw one up in the thumbnail, or we'll repost it on Twitter. It is so good.
Boy, this looks cool.
He's got a new looking bat. He's got the same emblem on and everything. The cowl still looks the same. And it just looks dark and dangerous, man. So I mean, I am sold. So it looks like at least at this point, so we know we get Michael Keaton in the Flash movie, and that's kind of your forte there, Justin.
I'm excited about that.
The guy in that universe, and I'm probably going to be watching that movie, and then this Batgirl movie with the return of J.K. Simmons. So a little bit of mix in the universe. The universe is right here. J.K. Simmons was, of course, Commissioner Gordon in Justice League, which I still have to, finish, aka watch. So
yeah, it looks like the girl playing Batgirl or Barbara Gordon is. I just had it. I don't know where. I just lost it.
It's something Grace. Is it, or is that?
I believe it's Lily Grace. Does that sound right? Leslie Grace. Leslie Grace.
There we go. Okay.
It says Keaton's appearance in the film was teased in December 2021. Leslie Grace will portray Barbara Gordon / Batgirl. Welcome to the So there you go. I guess they were filming in Glasgow this week, or earlier, and that's where they were filming. So yeah, I mean, it also says it's going to premiere exclusively on HBO Max. So I don't know, is that
really
not a movie?
Interesting.
Or is it going to go straight to streaming? I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it a watch though for sure.
Oh, if Michael Keaton's in it in that bat suit, I'm sold. I'll probably just watch that scene and then
turn it off. Yeah,
dip. So no, I'll give it a shot. But it looks so good.
Even J.K. Rowling is in this one picture. He looks pretty badass as Commissioner Gordon too. So
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. I'm sorry.
I was like, Harry Potter.
Did I say J.K. Rowling? Sorry.
What is she doing in that? And then you said he. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any
writing
sense.
Harry Potter. So.
You're Batman, Harry. Yeah, there you go. That was a horrible. That was
awful. Hagrid.
Oh man, we got a new sound drop here.
Right.
Thank you, Vinny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
The other thing did you guys have anything to say on Batman, Batgirl, anything?
No, I mean, the suit looks cool. It almost, looking from these pictures, it kind of threw me off at first. It's almost got like a hard, I don't want to say plastic, but it's got like a hard edge to it. It's a little bit different, but maybe because, you know.
It is. It doesn't look very armored.
No, but I don't know. Yeah.
I like it because even if you remember his first suit in the original 1989, actually the chest, he actually just wore like a almost like a Boba Fett chest piece.
Yeah.
Over just, you know, whatever the tights.
And
it was just kind of molded. So one other thing is that he ditched the yellow belt because
I saw that.
Always wore a yellow belt. And now he went to kind of like the Val Kilmer belt.
I would imagine. I mean, that's good too, that it's not one of the more form-fitting ones, because I don't think anyone wants to see a 70-year-old man in a form-fitting thing. Also, I did not know Michael Keaton is 70 years old.
I know.
And that's really upsetting me because he's a treasure and must be protected at all costs. So
if that's a 70-year-old Batman, like
I'm screwed. I'm going to be dead.
That's the hottest 70-year-old I've ever seen. So
now that's a hot take.
There's a hot take for you.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
God. Didn't see that coming.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right. What else you got, Greg?
You know what's making me mad? And this is probably going to come up more in countdown to the show. But if I can just borrow a few minutes of your guys' time to vent.
Go ahead.
I understand that MLB The Show 22 is in its alpha beta version. The technical test is happening, but there is a Switch version being released this year, and it is going to cost people $60, probably for several months. I downloaded the tech test today, and I downloaded it for the PS5, the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. So I got 4 versions running. Call me crazy.
I didn't even realize you had an Xbox One, Greg.
Oh yeah, I've had it for a while.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
okay. Proceed. Sorry.
That's how I watched my television downstairs.
Okay, I gotcha.
It's got the YouTube TV app, runs very nicely. So.
There you go.
Anywho, and it had the Fubo app when I was that's a big reason why when I was a Fubo man for a long time, supporting the Marquee Network and the Ricketts, before I dodged all that shit. Yeah, it was the only system that had it. Anyway, $60 game coming to the Nintendo Switch in the condition that it's in, even in alpha or beta version. You can't do that. I'm sorry. The way this game looks graphically is like 3 generations step back of video game presentation.
Yikes.
The frame rate is like moving at like old film ticker speed, you know. It's like 14 frames per second. It looks absolutely terrible. The lighting's off. The textures are just garbage. It's blurry. It's pixelated. It's choppy. Now, the choppiness can be fixed, beyond with patching, but you're not going to be able to really tune up those graphics in time for a launch like that. I understand it's new to the Switch. The Switch is not a it's a powerful system, but not, super powerful to run a simulator like that. We knew it was going to be a step back, but not that much of a step back. I don't know. I'd have to see a lot more to justify a purchase like that. I mean, right now I am looking at maybe I'd spend $7.99 or something like that.
So would you say would you prefer the old RBI game instead, even though that's not very good either?
RBI, RBI is arcade, remember?
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
very dialed back. But yeah, I mean, how sad does it say RBI baseball graphics blow it out of the freaking water? So
I like my Nintendo Switch, but I've kind of come to the realization that the only games I play on it are games that Nintendo makes for it, because I feel like they're the only ones that know what they're doing on that system. Right. So
now with that being said, I've heard 2K22 NBA runs pretty well on it. It is dialed back a little bit, but I mean, just with the show and Justin, I mean, if you have the time to download the tech test, it's free. I mean, see for yourself and call me crazy. You could come back and say, "Hey, it's not that bad, Greg," and then I will yell and berate you.
I downloaded the PS5 tech test last night because now our internet's back up to full speed. They finally fixed whatever was wrong with it. Man, so I wanted to see how long it would take to download the tech test, and it finished it in like 10 minutes, which was incredible. But
are you serious?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But I haven't had a chance to play it today.
It took me a lot. Oh, who does that sound like?
Right? Yeah. So maybe I think it goes this weekend. I got to try and get in on that this weekend. So
yeah. So it goes to the 28th, at least live, and custom practice will be open.
Oh, okay. I got time.
We go over all of that in countdown of the show. So
all right, sweet.
Check that out.
Yes, episode 5. 4 and 5 dropped this week. Yeah,
moving right along.
So if you like baseball and you like the show and you like PlayStation or Xbox or well, maybe not Switch if that's where you're picking it up. Check it out. All right.
Try it on the Switch though. Call me crazy. I mean, you gotta see what I mean.
All right. I have a horrible curiosity now just to see how bad it is.
And like I said, I think it's gonna look like that at launch. So
I'm sure it will.
Even in the dock, because I played it handheld and put it in the dock, put it on the 42-inch LG. Same thing.
That's not good.
Very, very choppy. So
all right. Well, I'll keep it in mind then.
Disappointed.
You got any other hot takes?
No, not really. Something's going to come to mind later, which I'll randomly bring in. But you guys have anything? What's on your guys' mind?
I was going to say, did you guys see that Tom? I was going to say no. I got the name right. Tom Cruise is supposed to be Iron Man in the Doctor Strange. There's rumors on that.
No thanks.
Rumors on that. I'm just like, what? Supposedly, people also said that he was one of the characters at the end of spoiler alert he was one of the characters that were coming into Spider-Man's universe near the end of Strange close the portal.
So the rumor is he's an Iron Man in a different universe.
So
he could be Iron Man in like Andrew Garfield's universe or something random like that, some different timeline.
Yep. Yeah, supposedly.
He's in the universe where L. Ron Hubbard is Iron Man. So.
Right. Yeah, supposedly he's going to be in the Doctor Strange movie, which would be, I feel like a huge, that's going to be a big cast if he's in it. Like that's going to be a big bill there.
I also saw, and I didn't get a chance to see the trailer because I think I fell asleep during that part of the Super Bowl, but that Doctor Strange trailer, that there's a line where you can hear what's his name playing Professor
Patrick
Stewart. So now if they bring in the X-Men universe, that's my Marvel bread and butter. I'm not too big of a Marvel guy, but X-Men. But I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm the DC apologist here, but I will admit the one good thing about DC is they've never had Tom Cruise in a DC movie, so they got that going for him still.
Not yet.
They had Ben Affleck, so
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Too late.
Damn it. So I don't know. Doctor Strange is I don't know. Doesn't do much for me.
I was gonna say, the Patrick Stewart thing caught me, by surprise too. I'm like, ooh, that should be fun. But I'm looking. I really enjoyed the trailer. I'm looking forward to this movie. See where they go with it. I did not know about Tom Cruise though, Vinny. I did not hear that rumor.
I've seen that on multiple websites when my Google agent wants to give me news articles. I've seen multiple ones. So I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, that's kind of like we'll see what kind of taste that leaves once you finally see it or something.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it'll
No?
be a short role, and Deadpool will slice him in half or something.
Could be.
Yeah, possible Deadpool.
Okay, see now if we bring in Deadpool and X-Men, then maybe I'd be willing to look. And I can't even say I don't mind. I like Tom Cruise's movies. Like you give me A Few Good Men, or Top Gun doesn't do anything for me. A Few Good Men,
Mission Impossible.
Some of the Mission Impossible movies are really good. Supposedly they're going to end those after there's 2 more, and then they're writing him off. So I don't know if they're going to kill him off or what. But
2 more Mission Impossibles scheduled.
Yes.
I thought they were going to end it after this.
I thought they were too, and then I heard there was going to be another one, supposedly, at least one more. Yeah, I don't even know where to go with that. So I'll be curious to see what they do with that.
Isn't Haley Atwell going to be in the next one? She was Agent Carter in the Captain America movies. Vinny, you would know that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think she's going to.
I have no idea.
I think she's going to be in the next one, if I remember. But
although I have to say,
not that that's exciting or anything, but unless you like her, she's all right.
Was it Fallout had Henry Cavill? In it.
Yeah.
He was actually good in it, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh well, he would. If that was his audition for being Bond in a spy, because it's a spy type of thriller movie, he wouldn't be bad based on that role. I haven't really seen him as Superman to see how bad he can be, but he was good in that role in the Mission Impossible Fallout, which I didn't realize it was him because I think he had a mustache and he played an American CIA.
He usually plays an American more than he plays a Brit,
right?
And he's not bad. He's not bad as Superman. Just the movies are terrible. That's a problem. Like he looks like a Superman, but scripts off.
Superman's just a bad character in general.
No, I'm not. No, you're not. You're preaching to the choir. I'm not a big Superman fan either. I never really understood that either.
Yeah,
but
Superman.
Jerry
Seinfeld likes Superman.
He does. He's in every episode of Seinfeld. That's right. Yeah. Usually on the fridge, right? Isn't that generally what they do? They stick a magnet or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have any. I don't have any hot takes. I'm boring, but I don't think we don't have any hot stove baseball talk. We don't have any White Sox baseball talk. We don't have any Cubs baseball talk, but we do have plenty of drama. I think this is day 79 or day 80 of the MLB lockout now.
God. Really quick, Justin. I'm gonna what you wrote here in the show notes. I'm just gonna kind of sit back and relax while you go through this because you wrote down some.
Oh, I just copied. I just copied and pasted that, Greg. That wasn't.
Still, I mean, you still have to kind of browse over it and see. There's good stuff.
There is some good stuff in here.
BS going on.
So MLB lockout. Let's talk about baseball. Vinny, you want to hit us with the baseball drop?
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's 2 favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
I feel like we need to edit that drop and put "don't play ball" in between in front of it because they're not going to be playing ball anytime soon. So, I think
just like not.
yeah. Just have. We need to find a movie clip of someone being like, not, and just put that at the end after play ball. So I've seen minor league baseball has really been doing a big push on social media and Twitter that, hey, we're not locked out. We will be having a season. Find a team to support, which I'll be honest, I'm kind of all in on that. So I don't know if, maybe I'll try and follow up a little bit more on the Iowa Cubs, see what they're doing. Because, I mean, really, there's not really any other AAA teams I'm going to follow on purpose. I mean, I guess I could follow the Charlotte Knights. Just for the purpose of the podcast to see what's going on with them too. So, so minor league baseball is opening up. That is going on. That's, good for them. But the lockout continues. The 2 sides met today. I was all excited and they sat down for 15 minutes and then the meeting ended. So my understanding from some of the writers I follow on Twitter was that each side comes in and says what they want to talk about, and neither side wants to talk about that part. And then they just say, okay, meeting's over, and they go their separate ways. So they are doing irreparable damage to the baseball pastime, I guess, because really no one is going to come back and care except like people like us that grew up playing baseball and really enjoy baseball, right? Like you are killing your fan base.
Is dying enough as it is. So now the rest will follow, and plenty of people will return. Like I'm sure will return, but this is just maddening right now. And the thing that really pisses me off is that when these proposals are submitted, like they're submitted with both sides well knowing that it's not going to be accepted by anyone. And then you have the whole, bargaining in good faith, thing, which I think can't like, I mean, there's like a legal process if you want to like fight, like, hey, they weren't bargaining in good faith. I think that's even, it would be an extension if the other side wants to sue the other for doing that. But these proposals are submitted and this like, oh yeah, we'll just do what we want. We'll change like 2 words. We'll, dot an I, cross a T or some shit. But it's like, yeah, we know they're not accepting it. So what are we doing here?
Well, and I'm so sick of some of the former GMs, not GMs, but some of the guys that are clearly, bowing down to the owners. Like they can't help themselves. I'm trying to find Jim Bowden is one that, oh my God, he's a former GM. I wonder if I did it. It must have been done on the baseball and whatever podcast, Twitter handle, but he was like, oh, these players, they just don't want to play. And I was like, can you stop licking the boots of the owners? Like, geez, come on, man. Like it's ridiculous. But yeah, like it blows my mind. What are they doing? I don't understand what the heck this is doing, what they're doing.
It's such a bad, like it's really, I mean, is there really, at least for me, there's really no point to remain optimistic. Like I've kind of moved past the point where, and I've said it before, I've sound like a broken record already. That's why, me, I always get excited for MLB, but that MLB the show, but that's going to be like that's what I am considering baseball right now.
Yeah.
And, I look at, I follow all the guys on Twitter. I get all the updates on any kind of meeting or any kind of proposal being submitted. And it's just bullshit going back and forth. And every time one of these, whether it's Manfred or someone else involved in these talks, just opens their mouth and just a giant pile of shit falls out. So it's like, why am I getting so flustered and angry over this? It's becoming not worth it. And that's how, like you said, that's how the fan base starts to go.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of other stuff going on that you just can't, in the end, you just can't, when the fights are about money, it's billionaires versus millionaires. When you really break it all down, like, why the hell am I feeling bad for these assholes? They're taking away. We're the ones that suffer, the fans, because it's entertainment. They're doing it for us. It's like, why the fuck should we care anymore?
No.
Get the hell out of here.
So Jim Bowden, he says it's the MLBPA's turn to do something. They have not made any movement, no salary movement, only $5 million for arbitration. Negotiations are progressing by centimeters. And he just keeps going on and on about how mediation can help them. And, it's not responsible for the players not to move forward with this. And it's like, dude, you're supposed to be the media. You need to be fair and balanced. Apparently he's an NFL analyst too. What the hell did he do with the NFL? I'm looking at his Twitter handle now. Jim Bowden, GM. Thanks, Jim. So I don't know. It's a joke.
What is your guys' take on the MLBPA turning down federal mediation? Like, do you guys have a thought on that at all?
The only thing I heard was supposedly when they brought in a federal mediator in the 94 lockout, and they said it was so political and it was purely done for just a lot of optics and things like that. And that's what I heard. That's why the players union was like, forget it. I think also they want the owners to move at least a little bit before they get to that point. It sounds like the owners really haven't moved very little.
They haven't. But in the end too, I know the mediator can't really make a decision. I mean, he's just the middle guy going, he's just literally the Pony Express, in the middle, delivering messages back and forth. So, I mean, he can't really make a decision in the end other than suggestions. But yeah, I totally get that too, because the owner side, Manfred represented, they're just standing pat with what they want. So there was a guy on Twitter, I retweeted it. His name is Bo Sheck. He had an example. It was a pretty good analogy. He goes, all right, imagine the owners say, here's $5. The players union says we want 20. The owners respond by saying, well, here's $5. The players union says, okay, we'll come down to 18. The owners then say, you're not cooperating. So they wait 2 months. The owners come back and say, here's $5. The players union says, here's 16. The owners say, we'll give you 5. The players union comes down to 14. And then the owners say, we need a mediator to fix this. So
And then the owners again coming out trying to get the good PR saying, we're ready to start right now. Here's your $5. Take it. It's like, no, you need to bargain and negotiate. It's not just one way or the other. And not to mention the owners. It's like the players are the reason you make your money in terms of this product for the teams that are managed well enough to make money. I know a lot of times they say they're not making any money, but nobody's going to the games. Yeah. Nobody's going to the games to watch Tom Ricketts or, Steve Cohen in New York or the Steinbrenner family. Like, I don't care. I want to see the players play, but it seems like they always forget that they need the players in order to make money off this. But I don't know, Vinny, you got anything else to add? It's so frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, forget the whole millionaire and billionaire, argument stuff. Just throw that out the window. Just think of it. They're just like you said, Justin, they're the entertainment.
Yeah.
They're the reason why you make money. The players deserve their fair share. I'm tired of people saying, well, the players aren't acting in good faith. Good faith. The owners need to open up their books.
Yeah.
That's the starting point of good faith. The owners aren't operating in good faith by closing their books and not letting them see how much money is actually being brought in. They're literally saying, well, give us an offer. Well, that's not good enough. And the players really, what do they know? They're they're making an educated guess on ticket sales, and they're doing their best to try to figure out what the revenue that's being brought in. And they're just kind of shooting in the dark, hoping to get what they think is fair. They don't know what's fair. We don't know what's fair. The owners know what's fair, but you know what? They don't care. They're going to hope that it's going to be the littlest amount possible because that's what they want. They want to line their pockets just like they've always been. I don't believe that any team in the MLB is not making money.
I don't know how that's not possible.
That's a fallacy. Especially when you get bad teams like the Pirates who shed payroll year after year. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm reminded of, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. But there's a scene in it after they've robbed a couple banks where the son asks Tom Hanks for some of the money. And he goes, sure. How much do you want? And the kid goes, $100. And he goes, okay. And then the kid's like standing there going, wait, could I have had more? I feel like this is like what the players union is going for. They're like, well, we don't know how much is actually out there. Should we try to get this? But then you have the owners that just cry poor, but that's not true. And it's absolutely ridiculous that, this back and forth is going on. And people are saying, well, the players union isn't acting in good faith. The players need to just, sign. Why should they just sign? Why should they just accept whatever the owners say is true? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever because they don't know what they're trying to get their fair share, and they deserve their fair share. They are the product. That's what we go to see. Like you said, Justin, we go to see the players, not the owners. We want them on the field, not the owners. Yeah. And they deserve their fair share, and that's all they're asking for. I don't also believe that ticket prices are going to go up. They've been going up for every year.
Yeah, the Cubs are emailing people left and right asking if they want to buy ticket plans. I don't know if you guys saw some of those tweets that were coming out. Yeah. It's like, you're in the middle of a lockout and you raised prices in the midst of a horrible season last year.
Well, it's the same with the White Sox too. Yeah.
But at least they're good.
Yep.
Like I can justify it.
Still not going to buy it.
No.
But people saying that, oh, well, if the players get more money, then ticket prices are going to go up. They're already going.
They're going up either way.
Matter. Yeah. They're making money hand over fist. It doesn't matter. So people need to stop. The only thing the players union is doing wrong is they're not forcing the owners to meet every day. They should be meeting every day to get this thing settled. That's my only gripe about the players is they need to be meeting every day to force the owners to do something to show to really make the owners look like a bunch of asses, which they already
are. Yeah.
But if they meet every day and try to do something, even if they're sitting there and they let the owners walk out, sit in the room until you get something concrete for the day. Just don't sit there for 15 minutes and leave. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Start small. Can we agree to how many stitches the baseball should have? Great. Let's go from there. Like, I mean, it's the
day one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 30-day plan.
Exactly.
We're going to have to get that Michael Scott intro now every time they have another meeting and nothing happens. Vinny, the other thing. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't get the argument either of people saying that the players are acting in bad faith. I mean, they've already kind of I mean, even early on, they kind of abandoned some of the things they wanted with like revenue sharing and stuff like that. And albeit stuff that was a long shot anyways. But they've already made kind of bargains with the
they've tried
with the they've tried at least with several other things. It's really the owners who have not budged.
They haven't budged
anything,
at all.
Like just like you said earlier, Justin. So, I mean,
and then the other thing that this came out on February 11th, so earlier last week, I think probably right after we did the last podcast, and I found this online, and there's a really good series of tweets. I'll get into that in a second, but. The MLB is now arguing for minor leaguers to stay unpaid in spring training. And here is the exact quote. It is the players that obtain the greater benefit from the training opportunities that they are afforded from our baseball clubs who actually just incur the cost of having to provide that training. You're a flipping baseball team. You're trying to improve your prospects. What are you talking about? Like, That's insane. How can you say, hey, we want you to do this job for us in spring training and then not pay them? Like, I didn't even know they didn't get paid in terms of like the minor leaguers. That's infuriating. You're doing a job and they're going to say, oh, well, we're making you better. Well, that's argumentative at best, but like, that's insane. And then Mark Appel, if you don't know who Mark Appel is, he was the number 1 pick right before Chris Bryant, I believe, in that draft, was drafted by the Astros as a pitcher. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yes.
And he had some injuries, never panned out. I don't think he ever even made it to the MLB, did he? I don't think
he pitched the big league.
So he did a really great. He went through a series of tweets documenting what it was like to be in the minors and how much things cost. And he even said, he goes, it's different for me because he had a signing bonus to kind of carry him through some of those lean years in the minors. But he said there's guys all over that are making, $10,000 for the season, like in lower AAA and AA. And okay, well, do you want me to work on getting better, or do you want me to go bag groceries and substitute teach? Like, what do the owners want these guys to do? It's just so ridiculous. Like, it's so like sitting up in their ivory tower. They don't understand what they're doing. It's crazy. So,
yeah, seeing as they pay the lawyer to come in and figure that out.
Yeah. So
it was $725 an hour was the fee or something like that. Yeah. Yes. That's absolutely asinine. What was it? I was listening to 670 The Score, and Cody Dekker was on. I don't know if you guys have listened to him. He's fantastic. He was on Laurence's show. I don't know if either of you caught that, but he played in the minors for a long time. And talked about him before, I think, on this podcast, how he was like, one of the aspects that we don't, I feel like, fully understand is when a guy gets called up, he's got a lease usually at whatever affiliate he's with, AA, single A. But when he gets moved up, he's got to keep that lease. He can't break it. And then he's got to go find a new place to live. Like, that is mind boggling that the teams don't provide adequate housing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And then not to pay him. He was on Laurence's show this week. He was talking about how, no one's looking out for the minor leaguers. They don't really have a seat at the table. And as a minor leaguer, you don't get accepted into the players union until you make it to the show.
Yeah.
Which is, again, mind boggling. But he said that he played in, AAA and he made it into the MLB. He goes, they're not paid for spring training, which can last up for 2.5 plus months or something like that, which is, again, that's ridiculous. Not getting paid for 2 months of work. What in your right mind thinks that's okay?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. And there's, they don't get paid in the off season. They got to go find part-time jobs for 3 months. He was talking about, he had to be a bouncer or a bartender. And he goes, if I got hurt during my job, part-time job, he's going to get cut. And it's just, this doesn't make it seems so simple. And then for the old farts that are out there, well, that's what I had to do. This is, you're trying to make your dream come true, but you should at least get a living wage, have something to live off of and not be struggling. Yes, you can make a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made in baseball.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Oh, not if you talk to the owners.
Yeah. Biblical losses, as we know all too well here. But if you have the chance, go to 670 The Score. I don't know if we can provide the link in our YouTube or our show, but that interview was fantastic. He, detailed what his experience was like, living in his car for when he was playing in AAA, and then when he made it to the majors because he he was running out of money because he didn't have a good contract as a minor leaguer. It was a fantastic interview. So I would suggest after listening to this podcast, go listen to the show recap on the podcast for 670 The Score.
Yeah, that definitely. I just made a note. I'll put that in there. And well, you know what? We will tag Cody Dekker. Maybe we can get a little boost from good old Cody too. We'll see. Do we want to talk about the Tyler Skaggs trial that's going on now? Man, talk about a bad week for MLB. Holy cow. All right. So I copy and pasted some of these bullet points from, this is from an article from Sports Illustrated. And I'll get into who Tyler Skaggs was in a second if you guys don't remember. So this is from Sports Illustrated on Tuesday, February 15th. Good old Matt Harvey. You may remember him from his time as a New York Met and then Anaheim.
That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Perfect. And then I want to say he was a LA Angel. I almost said an Anaheim Angel. And then I think
Orioles and Reds.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay. So Matt Harvey was granted immunity to testify during the Tyler Skaggs trial and admitted to using drugs throughout his playing career, while also going into detail about Tyler Skaggs' drug use. The reason this is relevant is Tyler Skaggs was found dead in his hotel room in Texas back in 2019 in July. During an Angels road trip. Kay, which is the last name of one of the, I believe, trainers of the Angels, is facing 2 felony charges and is being accused of providing Oxycontin pills, containing fentanyl to Skaggs, which resulted in a fatal overdose. Yeah, man, I can't even, if there's fentanyl in that's going to mess you up really quick. Matt Harvey, the Mets' former ace, was teammates with Skaggs when he passed away. ESPN's TJ Quinn was one of several reporters covering the case and revealed that Kay's attorney claimed that Skaggs told Kay that the drugs that killed him prior to his death were Percocets that were given to him by Matt Harvey. During his testimony earlier yesterday, Matt Harvey said he gave 6 or 7 Percocets to Tyler Skaggs in the Angels clubhouse during the 2019 season. Beyond that, Kay was Skaggs' regular provider, according to Matt Harvey. While Kay was in rehab from April to May of 2019, Harvey said Skaggs requested him to obtain pills from his connections. Among the drugs that Matt Harvey admitted to using, cocaine was one of them. And as ESPN reported, defense attorney Michael Molfetta asked Harvey if he lied about using this drug during his time with the Mets, to which Matt Harvey replied, "No one on the Mets ever really asked me about it." Jeez. So if you go back, somebody found screenshots of Matt Harvey pitching for the Mets, and he's got massive bloody noses. It's like, well, he might have been deviating his septum a little bit in the dugout before he pitched, I'm guessing. But
this isn't like a Millhouse Van Houten nosebleed or something.
No. So first of all, the whole Tyler Skaggs thing, the Oxycontin, if you want to call it an epidemic, that whole thing is just, it's so sad to see people get addicted to that. But the fact that this was whoever laced it with fentanyl, and then the fact that you have when I think of players doing drugs, I'm thinking, or at least in Matt Harvey's case, doing cocaine, I'm thinking they're doing it when they go to clubs after games, or they're doing it in the privacy of a hotel room or at home. I'm not thinking they're doing it in the clubhouse. Like, right. That is insane. I want to say there was some report that they were like crushing up the pills on like the toilet seat lid or on the drying rack
dispenser.
Yeah. And snorting it. Like, how did no one in the organization know this was going on?
They knew it was going on.
So if that's the case, then they just turned a blind eye, which makes you just as, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but that makes you just as guilty.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
So holy cow, it's so sad. And Matt Harvey always seemed kind of like a dick to begin with. This just makes me think even less of him. And the fact that they granted him immunity so he would spill his guts. I mean, I guess that's a good thing because now you know more, but at the same time, he looks like he's kind of partially responsible too. But
yep.
So I don't know. You guys got any takeaways from that besides it being just a horrible situation?
Kay was just found guilty on both counts.
Yes. Okay.
I forget what the counts were, but that was just earlier today, I believe.
Okay.
So,
yes. Yeah.
Man, what a mess.
20 to life, I think.
Is that what it is? I didn't know. I didn't know what his sentence, what he could be facing. So that's that's
the whole damn thing's sad.
It is. It really is. It's just, and I don't know. And I know we talked about it before the show about, fan bases getting into it with other fan bases about, oh, this isn't as bad as the Astros, or this is worse than the Astros cheating and all that. And then you bring up those fans, dare I say. I'd call them something else, but I don't want to get a bunch of angry tweets directed my way. So if you want to direct angry tweets at me, my Twitter handle is at gprobst15.
Bring him.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a sad situation. And then you compound that with just the players union and the owners not even sitting down for longer than 15 minutes. Like you said, you can go to the bathroom longer than 15 minutes in a day, and they couldn't even sit and talk for longer than that. So
really lose sympathy for a lot of the figures and a lot of respect for the game going on. I mean, the Skaggs story puts things in perspective on really, loss of life is obviously the worst thing possible in this situation. But it's just terrible news after, disappointing news with just laced all over Major League Baseball. It's really, it's really unfortunate. So.
It's also what drives me nuts is I feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping in the other sports too, but baseball, there's so many old crotchety fans that are like, oh, well, and I think Vinny, you kind of touched on this too. I think it was you about, well, that's not how it was when I watched baseball as a kid, in terms of like the salaries and things. And the same thing, like there's, all these horrible things that are going behind the scenes, but, this is America's pastime. This is America's game. Well, it's like, we need to clean this shit up and make it better. But it seems like there's some fan bases or some fans in general that are just like, well, that doesn't matter. That's not the product on the field. Who cares? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's just frustrating. So,
Yep. Greg, I have to ask you, I don't know if you guys saw that the baseball, the new playoff projection, what supposedly, I don't know if it was agreed upon, official yet, but was it seven teams per division?
Yeah, I think it's close
per league.
Yeah, I think it's close.
And it was weird that the winner gets to pick
the whole picking. Yeah.
Card. That seems weird.
That's something I think we touched on that before. And that's something I at least I don't think I wanted. So I mean, can you imagine that coming back to bite you?
I was going to say
that would happen to the White Sox. The White Sox, that's like such a White Sox thing. They would pick their opponent and just get swept by them.
Yep.
Yeah,
which is funny, which is comical in its own right, but it's just that's just. Can you imagine the momentum you're given to the other side? Just
the bulletin board material.
Someone picked my team. I'm like, or even the other way around. I'm like the Minnesota Twins, let's say, and I finish first seed or however they're doing. And I'm picking the Chicago White Sox because I'm gonna beat up on a division boob. And if I'm them or either way around, like I am just amped up.
Yeah,
it's gonna take them down either. Just so it makes for an exciting scenario possibly, but it's just such a weird juvenile, sequence or something for professional sports. But then again, we look at everything we just talked about, and baseball is just complete boobery at the moment.
Yeah.
So why not just keep doing breast enlargements here. So
I was going to ask you, Greg, since you're the boomer of the group, do you think having 7 teams per league devalues the regular season?
Well, I mean, there's the argument that going around that the season needs to be shortened anyway. Personally, that's not my view of it. I always enjoy baseball playoffs. So nothing, if it, minus take away the lockout, let's just say if this was just a change happening to a normal season, I don't look at any devalue of it whatsoever. I just look at, a team possibly, buying in to try and get that last spot in the playoffs and, extending it, which I think I would enjoy. I mean, you could make the argument on the other side for other teams, taking the cheap ass route to say, oh, we'll sneak in anyway. I mean, you can go back and forth like that, but no, I really don't. I mean, there's arguments to be made, but I don't personally view as the regular season being devalued. I mean, you could even make the case that it's, when you get in the dog days and everything like that, where's the value lost in some of that. But no, I know a lot of traditionalists, kind of like the way the structure is or was at the moment, but that extra team, getting in, I don't have a problem with it. I don't see, at least from this point, I don't see a season getting devalued. Could that change? If that gets approved going forward, maybe we haven't seen it yet, so it's kind of hard to say. But I kind of like. I'm kind of in support, I guess, of expanded playoffs. I think it's a good thing, I would say. So what about you?
Okay. That's what I thought. I got into it with somebody that said that was devaluing the season, and that baseball is the most, regular season is the most valuable regular season compared to any other sport, which I find ridiculous because I feel like football.
Has he heard of the NFL?
If you're talking to baseball peers, no, the only sport is baseball. But yeah,
I had a coach like that would devalue every other single professional sport in favor of any sort of baseball. Is just annoying. So,
but I mean, the playoffs, the playoffs in any sport are better than a regular season. It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
And to think that 162 game season is that like valuable, each game matters that much. I mean, why would Joe Madden come out and say 2 out of 3 ain't bad? It's meatloaf, or you got a team like the Nationals that's, around the trade deadline, they're in last place, and then they end up winning the World Series. Of the Cardinals last year, they were struggling and end up, where they win the division last year. So you get teams like that every year. I feel like where the year the Twins, they sold off, but then they ended up winning the division. That stuff happens every year because the season is so freaking long,
right?
And maybe they do cut back on some games that go back to 154, where they used to be, by adding these 4 new teams. Maybe you do that to saves some of the players, but I don't know. I don't think it devalues it whatsoever. You can make an argument. It's all opinion based anyways. Whether you think it devalues it or not, but I personally don't. I think if anything it would help. You would get some guys probably resting because they're looking forward to the playoffs. But baseball players are a creature of habit. We found out last year with, especially with all the pitchers, they always complain about when they get days off, especially the veteran pitchers. They always want to pitch on their day. They don't want any sort of extra rest. They hate that extra rest. So I don't think it would devalue anything. Just like based on that alone, you might get some of the field players getting a couple extra days, and maybe that stops them from being injured for a month. So you get to see them more often. They might take a couple of days off here and there. So I don't know. I really don't think it devalues it, but again, it's all opinion based.
And I'm sure, and I'm all for, however they want to structure it. I mean, even in the pandemic season, they had the short series, going on. Like I'd be fine with something like that. Or even if they do one round, a single game, I always find a single elimination exciting. But you get a team, you get a team with some hope, some perspective in there. And I think, strange things happen in Major League Baseball playoffs. So, and I'm never on the side because fans get pissed so much. And it happened when the last playoffs too, when the Braves won, when the best team with the best record doesn't win the World Series. I'm like, guys, anything can happen in the freaking playoffs. We say it's usually the hot team or the team that steps up. I mean, that's the thing I love too. The guys I weren't thinking about, I kind of love when they come through, especially if my team's out of the picture already. So, I mean, that's just kind of what makes it exciting because Lord knows baseball needs it. So I'm all for it. And so much of the regular season is hindsight anyway. When teams reflect, like when they're out, 10 games, they miss whatever by 5 or 10 games. That's when they go back and look at the regular season and say, oh, where we could have gotten those back, and then evaluate from there. So there's your whatever. There's what you're losing from the regular season anyway. So, but it's so. I mean, for me, it's the perfect length, but I know for some that it isn't. But you get in those dog days and whatever else. So, I mean, you're like you said, 2 out of 3 meatloaf. I mean, that's just how it is. So,
I'm just bummed now the Super Bowl's over. Thank God for the Bulls, because otherwise there would be nothing to watch. I mean, in terms of Chicago sports, because the Hawks are garbage and there's nothing else going on. So
they're playing tonight, aren't they?
The Hawks, yeah, they are. And the NBA's on their All-Star break now. So
right.
All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to hit this probably be a pretty brief segment. You guys want to hit our football segment?
Sure.
All right.
Manures of the Midway, where the guys talk the pile of horse crap that is the Chicago Bears.
I mean, when you consider the other choices, manure is actually pretty refreshing.
All right. I don't really have anything. Actually, I don't know. After this, we might not really have a lot of football talk. So I don't know. Do you guys have any Super Bowl takeaways before we wrap up? Move on.
I think I watched 5 minutes of it.
5 minutes of it.
I saw I saw Jalen Ramsey get his face mask pulled, and then the Bengals score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then I saw on Twitter everybody lose their minds because a couple penalties, I guess, were called
at the end.
They
started throwing the flags at the end. Yeah,
no one really decided to say, "Hey, look at the foul that caused a 7-point swing." Like,
exactly.
The reason the Bengals were in the lead were because of that touchdown that they let go. So I saw that and I was like, well, I didn't watch the whole game, so I didn't really care too much. But the halftime show was great.
Oh my God. Yeah. The halftime show was incredible. And I don't know about you guys, but I loved all the people of older generations that were just all up in arms about how upset they were that was the halftime show. I loved it. I'm like, but at the same time, it kind of bummed me out because now we are the generation that people are marketing to because we're that age now. You know what I mean? Like,
it
makes me feel like
I'm glad that they're catering to me.
Yeah.
It's about damn time. Yeah.
Yep.
That was awesome. And then I saw a bunch of people were upset because somebody snapped a picture of Snoop Dogg smoking up before he went on stage. It's like, it's Snoop Dogg. That's what he does.
But
did you guys see Aaron Judge's response?
No.
He said something along the lines of, "Oh, I thought I knew Snoop Dogg. How dare he do that?" Or something along the line like, "Oh man."
Well, was he serious though, or was he?
I hope not.
I don't know. I just saw the tweet.
But it's like, A,
I don't know. He's a Yankee, so probably
that's what Snoop Dogg does. And B, I'm pretty sure it's legal in California, like it is in Illinois now. Like,
and Aaron Judge shouldn't talk. His girlfriend was arrested for DUI.
Yeah, I would rather take somebody smoking up just to have some fun as opposed to somebody getting a DUI. But that's just me.
Road.
Yeah.
And pulling the "you know who my boyfriend is" card. So
oh God,
that shit. Check it out there. And
so no, I'm hoping he was joking on that, but you never, like you said, with the Yankees, you can never tell. They got to keep that clean cut image. So no, I loved it. I thought it was great. It was great to see 50 Cent again. Although I did,
that was awesome.
I did kind of crack up with all the memes that he's now, 75 cents and $1 due to inflation and because he's a little bit older now.
Got the little Boba Fett body happening. So
which hey, it made me feel better about myself. I'm not gonna lie.
I was like,
but yeah, no, that was good. I got nothing else. I mean, the commercials weren't that great. I thought, as somebody who enjoys watching the commercials for the Super Bowl, nothing really stood out.
The commercials were terrible.
Yeah, they weren't good.
There was like maybe two good ones.
Even the Dr. Evil one, kind of, because I used to love those movies as a kid, but even that bums me out because I'm like, oh man, Mike Myers is looking old. Like,
did they cast Rob Lowe and
yes, instead of because he was number 2 in the second Austin Powers movie. So yeah, Robert Wagner probably. Yeah, but like Mike Myers isn't getting too far off from what Dr. Evil just looks like in general now without the makeup. So
pretty much.
But yeah, all right. Well, that's all I got for football. I'm sure the Bears will do something stupid in the next couple of weeks that we can laugh about and talk about.
We had a pretty good spread at our house and it was just us, but we had, we got out the snacks. We had some wings, nothing crazy, but the food was all right, fattened up.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah, I don't
watch the whole game though, and I thought it was all right for the most part. I enjoyed it.
I fell asleep.
Third quarter was garbage, but it was a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was. I'll be curious if the Bengals get back or if this was their one chance to grab it, and now they're not going to get back. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Not if they don't fix their offensive line. Joe Burrow is going to be dead by the end of next season. So,
pretty much.
All right. Well, that does it for our football talk. Let's go briefly to some hockey talk.
Used puck bags.
Shut up! You guys stink.
I thought we came here to play hockey.
I knew we forgot something.
Diving in on what's happening with the Chicago Blackhawks.
All right. Well, in terms of the Blackhawks, the only two things I have is teams have been calling on Patrick Kane because the trade deadline is coming up next month. And Patrick Kane also said he would like to be a part of the GM discussion in terms of finding the next GM and helping hire the management. Patrick, you're not going to be around much longer. Your contract ends next year. You're going to get traded. So no, you really shouldn't have anything. Thank you, Vinny. So yeah, no thanks. Appreciate it, but no. The only other thing that I thought was more interesting than the Hawks, because let's be honest, nothing is really everything is more interesting than the Blackhawks season this year. Olympic hockey has been somewhat fun to watch. Team USA women lost the gold medal game to Canada last night. They took the silver medal. I was really excited to watch it, but yeah, they came out kind of flat. The final score was 3-2, but that second goal was due to the last minute. They had a power play and they pulled the goalie. So it was 6-on-4. So you probably should get one. So they scored a second goal with about 12 seconds left, but it wasn't enough. So congrats to Team Canada, as much as that pains me to say, but at least the ladies of Team USA got the silver, which isn't too bad. And then Team USA men really shit the bed, for lack of a better phrase. They did great in the round robin tournament. I think they won all their games. They advanced to an automatic bye to the quarterfinal. They played Slovakia. And then I totally forgot this. Apparently in the quarterfinals and semifinals, they don't do overtime. They just go to a shootout, which is the most asinine thing in the world for me. I hate the shootout in general, but to have it in Olympic matches that determine if you're going to play in the medal round is just stupid, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
didn't even know.
Yeah.
Didn't even know.
No idea.
So they did I don't think they scored a single goal in the shootout, and they got eliminated. So they are out.
What the hell, USA?
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, Team USA. I'm thinking of Mighty Ducks too. Team USA's got to do some jumping jacks, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So that's it for hockey. I did want to just throw out there, and we don't have a Bulls segment yet, but I feel like we're getting close. They have been incredible the last 4 or 5 games, namely in particular, DeMar DeRozan is amazing. So I pulled these stats real quick. I just wanted to share this with you guys. This week, he broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for the most consecutive games with 35 plus points and 50% or better shooting percentages, which seems insane to me. To be that locked in. And he talked, I listened to an interview with Kendall Gill on the Score station out here. And Kendall Gill kind of said, he talked about how the first quarter and the second quarter, DeMar DeRozan is just taking in all the data on how are these teams playing him? How are they guarding him? How are they, trying to rebound his shots? And then the third and fourth quarter, he's locked in. He knows exactly what he's going to do. And he's got the muscle memory for a lot of his shooting motions. And he's just killing it. So the last handful of games, this is his stat line: 38 points, 59% field goal percentage, 40 points, 67% field goals, 38 points, 50%, 35 points, 64%, 36 points, 68%, 38 points, 59%, and then 45 points the last game with a 60% field goal percentage, which, growing up during the Jordan eras, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, BJ Armstrong, Tony Kukoc, all those guys, Steve Kerr, were amazing. But to think that none of them put that together is crazy. But good on DeMar, good on the Bulls. Hopefully they get Lonzo Ball back soon and Alec Caruso, and they can roll into the playoffs, because I want to say after the All-Star break, they have a really tough schedule coming up. So they need the reinforcements to come back from all the injuries. So
Caruso's coming back, I think, within the next couple of weeks here.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think he's starting to dribble this week, or was it like 10 days or something like that? And
I can't remember who the guy on the Bulls that just came back. He had the messed up hand, and the poor guy, anytime he touches the ball, you can see him grabbing his hand, but he's still going out there and doing his thing, and he's not coming out. So credit to him. Wow. Was it Tony? Not Tony Williams. I can't remember the guy's name. I'll have to look it up later, but yeah, there you go. So I think, and I don't know, you guys got anything else for Bulls or sports in general before we move on?
I was going to say for the negotiations, I don't know if you guys saw, but they have 11 days to meet the deadline to start on time that the owners, I think, set. MLB said that they said in the next 11 days or whatever, I don't know what date that is. If they don't get a deal done by then they won't start on time. So it's not looking good right now to start the season on time.
Yeah,
I think that puts it at February 28th or March 1st. One of those.
Right at the end of February. Yeah, I think it's the 28th. You're right, Justin.
It's not looking good. This is going great.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well,
get yourselves MLB The Show, boys. That's going to be baseball. We're going to sim our season.
Once I play that tech test
on 360.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, Vinny. I'm really thinking, Greg, I don't know if I play that tech test and it's good, I might not be able to wait till the summer for a sale. I don't know.
Don't play on the Switch. So
no,
that's right there.
I'll be honest. I haven't turned my Switch on in months. Yeah. So
backlog.
Yeah, that's what having a kid will do to you. All right, let's move on to our whatever segment this week.
Now it's time for whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever you want. Whatever I want.
Whatever, dude. Irrelevant.
Whatever, dude.
All right, Vinny, I love that. That's awesome. All right. All right. Thank you to Vinny for finding all those clips. All right. And then loading it into his magical soundboard. All right. Greg, take it away. Tell us what's our whatever topic this week.
All right. So this one ended up being pulled out of a hat, boys. I mean, we had a couple of ideas floating around, but so decided to go or just to talk about no top five, no rankings or anything, but just some stories, some memories of your best birthday gifts and your best birthday party. So obviously that can be more recent, or if in my case, something that shoots back to my childhood and my youth. So for example, we'll use Tony right here. Listener right, and Tony writes, Tinley Park roller rink for the win in middle school. Between the loud music, arcade games, and couple skate, there was nothing better. That's exactly what we're looking for, an example for a birthday party. So just fun stories like that, this, that, and the other. And we'll just kind of go through it, and we'll get to all of your listener submissions right over here. But I'm gonna kick it off, guys. I had a birthday most recently. And you can tell my birthday gifts are getting a little more practical, I guess you could say, in my older age, but we'll just get that out of the way soon. I did get some nice funding, let's say, to get some nice WeatherTech mats for my new vehicle. So those came in a week ago, and they are mighty nice. That was my birthday gift. So that car mats. How about that?
Hey, everybody! An old man's talking.
Yeah, exactly. Get the pretzel Vince drop. So
there you go.
There we go. There was my most recent birthday gift, which I absolutely love. So
nice. Yeah, those are very nice. I don't have any. I wish I kind of had. I need some for my car, but no, those are very sharp.
I'll take it back one more time. We'll go all the way back to this must have been 3rd or 4th grade. But the ultimate birthday party at Laser Zone. You guys know what Laser Zone is?
No,
laser tag. I'm guessing laser tag arena. So Laser Zone was in. I think it was in Glenview. And of course, I went to school, with a bunch of North Shore rich kids. Not being one myself, but I went to school with them. So anyway, party was at Laser Zone. Had a huge turnout, and yeah, we had the place for. Oh God, we played several I don't remember how many hours it was, but we played several matches of laser tag. For you don't know what that is, you're handed pretty much like flashlight guns, and you don, a headband and a vest, and once the beam hits you, you're out. But it's pretty much just like paintballing with like flashlight guns in some sort of blacked out arena. And it was, I remember that like it was yesterday. It was amazing. We played so many matches. There were barriers, there were structures you could climb, ladders, things to take cover behind in this blacked out, black lights everywhere. So the idea was to wear black, so the kids wearing white or any kind of bright colors, they stood out like sore thumbs. So they were the first to go, obviously. We played several matches of those. A lot of my friends. Yeah, I swear it was fourth grade. But what made the birthday party even better is that got my Nintendo 64, I believe.
Oh boy.
With GoldenEye and the Atomic Purple controller, all of which I still have to this day hooked up. And that was pretty amazing. I remember we hooked up that N64 to my old RCA TV downstairs. I remember the input for that to change to AV mode was channel 92.
Wow.
So
wow.
That was never. You guys remember those big box, TV? Like
it was always channel 3 or 4 for us.
For some reason, it was 92 on this RC. I don't know where my parents got this thing on the back of a truck somewhere, but it was all encased in like this.
It was a real genuine Sorny.
Sorny panoramic, magnet box.
Yes.
Magnet box. So it was actually our CB or something.
Yeah,
like that. But that was amazing, and then you could tell. My parents, mixed in with a bunch of rich North Shore kids, because I don't know if you guys had or went to parties and they would give out goodie bags.
Oh yeah.
At the end.
Yep.
So my mom did not know what those were. So here you are, you got all the kids, heading out, parties over. It's like, oh wait, I forgot my goodie bag. My mom's like, what the hell's a goodie bag? So they're like, yeah, it's a little bag with treats in it, or you get a little prize in there or whatever else. So she's like, God, look, the party and the cake wasn't enough for you kids. So she ended up handing out, she bought a big bag she had for the party they bought. Remember the big Costco size pack of chips you could get? So she just started handing out little bags of Cheetos and Doritos. Like, here's your goodie bag, kids. So
get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here. So those were the goodie bags those years. Yeah, these North Shore kids just keep wanting more and more. So, but either way, Laser Zone, pretty sure it was Glenview. I don't know if it's still there. Probably not. It's a little bit of a dump, but they got a great birthday party. A lot of good memories.
Nice.
Excellent. Nice. That's awesome. All right. I don't know. Who do you want to go next, Greg?
Vinny, why don't you share next?
Oh boy. It was hard to remember gifts. Going back, but I had a couple. I think Christmas gifts were more. We did Christmas bigger than our birthdays in my household. Excuse me. But I remember 3 gifts. One recently, I got a really nice bike for my birthday. And let's see here. When I was little, I got, I think it was in 4th or 5th grade. Nope. You know what? It was in 4th or 5th grade, I think. And I got, Resident Evil Director's Cut for PS1.
I got that. Yep.
Never played it. Cause I was too scared of the zombies in it.
Vinny, it's that's my favorite game of all time.
It's a really good game. I didn't pick that up until I was in high school. And I was on the PS2. And I was like, oh, you know what? I should play this game. I always liked the second one, which is the game I wanted, but I didn't get. But yeah, so I got that. That was a memorable one. And then I also got this really cool Nerf gun that was kind of like a, it was blue and silver. I can remember it had a rotating barrel on the front when you cocked it. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite toys for a long time. But yes, those gifts, I don't remember too many of my birthday gifts. But parties, I remember parties. We used to go, one of the ones I remember was going to the Discovery Zone. Do you guys ever have that out?
I literally have that written down for mine too, Vinny.
Easy Discovery Zone. Excuse me. And yes, I remember it was 5th grade or something like that, 4th or 5th grade again, going there and playing. But they used to have laser tag, but Men in Black had just come out. So they had changed their laser tag from like going against people to like this simulated, like you're shooting aliens that they had set up, which was awesome. And I still remember that to this day, like running around there trying to shoot aliens to get a high score. I don't know how well I did. I don't think I did that well, which I thought was a bunch of boo hockey, but yes, I remember that one for my birthday. And then, going to like Chuck E. Cheese when I was littler. That was always fun. Going there is like the same thing, except they had those weird animatronic dolls that never worked. Do you guys ever go to Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh yeah.
You remember the little puppet show? Or the
Absolutely. Yeah, there's only two that worked out of the whole group.
Yeah, they were always broken.
Yeah.
And
you about hanging out in that ball pit nowadays, like good God.
Oh God. There's probably another variant of COVID lurking in one of those things nowadays, right?
You always hear the stories about dirty diapers and like needles being like
bandages
left in those ball pits. Yeah. And like we'd swim in those ball pits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Spend the whole day in there.
Yep. Those two parties I remember. And then I remember there was another one when I was like probably sixth grade, where I had a bunch of friends over. We didn't go anywhere, but we stayed up all night playing Driver 2, Need for Speed, Porsche Unleashed, and some other game where we stayed up all night just playing video games. My eyes were just completely bloodshot by the morning because I was just staring at a screen all night. And I think like me and one other kid by the name of Jordan Isaacs stayed up all night playing. Everybody else ended up falling asleep, but there was no way I wanted to sleep when I had video games to play. But yeah, those were probably my most memorable parties.
That's awesome.
Good times. That's awesome. What do you got, Justin?
Oh man. All right. Well, first of all, yes, Vinny, I completely agree. We had a Discovery Zone out here. That was a big one. My sister is 2 years younger than me, but her birthday is only 2 weeks before mine. So a lot of times we would do like the joint parties. She would invite her friends. I would invite mine at Discovery Zone. I also remember as a kid doing Chuck E. Cheese. And I remember I loved, because I was really little. They had a Ninja Turtle game where you would take like the golf balls and put them in the top, and they would like try and trickle down like Plinko, and you had to get it to fall into the sewer manhole. I don't know. It was such a racket, but that was a big deal. Used to love going up to Chucky and, saying hi to him, which poor guy, probably making minimum wage working in that suit, sweating his ass off, dealing with a bunch of punk ass kids.
Yep.
The one that really stands out to me is, I think this was in second grade. My parents, we went to the Oak Lawn ice rink and we invited all of our friends and they paid for everybody. And it was the middle of June, so there weren't too many people at the ice rink in June. So we pretty much had the whole ice rink to ourselves. We had a free skate for hours. They, played the music. We had a cake and pizza and all that. And I just remember thinking I was a badass because I was one of the only kids out of all my friend group that could skate from playing hockey growing up. So I was just, I felt like I was Michael Scott in that episode when they go to the ice rink for his birthday, skating around everybody and no one else can skate for shit. So, we had a ton of pool parties. We were lucky enough. We had a pool growing up at our first house, and a lot of pool parties in the summer, followed by just lots of basketball in the driveway with the basketball net and stuff like that. We do also have a lot of home movies of our birthday parties, which is, I think, why I remember this so well. And there's one. This is really like vintage 90s. This would have been like 90 or 91. So you guys were like, what, 6 months old probably at that point?
Shitting
maybe
ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure.
At least I wasn't doing that in 91, as far as I know. But there's video of, bless my mom. She had all these little kids over and she set up like bozo buckets and pin the tail on the donkey. And she, if you got you would get a goodie bag once you won. And then, eventually everyone got a goodie bag and all that. But I was a little asshole. Like, I remember I was mad because I couldn't get the third bozo bucket. So I was like, this is stupid. And I just would walk over and put it. I did not follow the directions. I went past the line.
Oh, man.
I am a rule follower nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then same thing. I don't know where that kid went. He disappeared shortly thereafter. And then we did pin the tail on the donkey. And there's video of me horrible at pin the tail on the donkey. The blindfold really messes everything up. And I was so far off. And I literally threw a fit. I'm like, that's not fair. I want another try. And I was screaming and yelling. And my poor mom's like, oh my God, shut this kid up.
Poor Robin setting all that up.
Yeah, my mom, they went above and beyond, both of them. So the only other one that in terms of places before I get to gifts, so I can do the gifts later if you guys want to take over.
Yeah.
But I remember in 6th grade, we had a birthday. My parents let me have a sleepover. I had like 7 or 8 of my, good friends from 6th grade come over. And that was the year South Park came out. And my parents were cool enough. They let me watch South Park. And I think I've talked about it. As long as I didn't start swearing or acting weird, as they put it, I would be allowed to watch South Park on my own, which the acting weird thing didn't really pan out. But
how did they determine that?
It didn't go that well. But I remember us staying up pretty much all night. I had my PlayStation. Like Vinny, we played Resident Evil 1, the director's cut. And then I also had MLB Pennant Race, which was like the first Sony baseball game that eventually turned into the show. But and we played that all night. And then finally at like probably 1 or 2, we decided we were going to go to bed. And then one of my a-hole friends convinced us all that he saw someone outside staring in the windows watching us. And then we couldn't sleep because we were paranoid. We were little, 10-year-olds freaking out. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's a whole other issue going.
That was a whole other thing. Yeah. So, no, the mean streets of Oak Lawn were not that mean back then. But no, he was just being a jerk and trying to scare everybody. So those were some of my favorite parties for sure. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sticking on the video game subject, I remember I had a birthday party, maybe just 1 or 2. There was this place called it was an arcade. I think it was Super Just Games then.
Oh.
And then this wasn't like in Northbrook, but I think it's like Nickel City now. So I had a birthday party one or 2 times there that were always fun. They also had bumper cars inside that place, if I remember. And then another place where I had birthday parties younger was a place called Jungle Gym. And then it turned into a place called Jeepers. I believe that's what it was. Something like that. Something weird. But it's pretty much just like a little mini indoor amusement park where they had like a Chuck E. Cheese theme or whatever. They had bumper cars, like I mentioned before, and like a little mini coaster or something like that. Little kiddie shit along those lines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a couple parties over there. I don't remember what gifts I got. Probably like Power Ranger shit or something like that. Not bashing that, of course, because that's awesome. Or probably Pokemon, maybe something along those lines. I can't remember. It's hard to remember. Like you said, it's hard to remember the birthday gifts, but the Christmas gifts, kind of stand out. But a couple parties over there, and then Chuck E. Cheese, obviously. A lot of good memories there. There was one right by our house in Village Crossing in Skokie. And then I'm trying another thing. Am I missing any other venues for birthday parties? I'm sure there were, but those were the ones that stand out, obviously. So, as far as gifts go, some of the more recent ones I can think of course, video game related, as mentioned before, the Nintendo Switch last year, MLB The Show 22 list as it remains, but that was awesome gift from all walks of the family. And then the year before that, the PlayStation VR. So
I remember that
which
one.
they just announced, announced PSVR 2 is in the works now. So but yeah, no, two totally awesome gifts. And I remember I playing a ton of that, obviously being older. And then after not doing it for a little bit, then getting back into it, I started to feel motion sickness. So
oh no.
How old are
be careful
you
with this? I don't know, but it like hits you once. And then you get over it, and then you go back and you're like, okay, you just need to fight that curb a little bit before you're like, oh, I feel like Phil Dunphy, in Walt Disney World. So just whatever's going on. But two amazing gifts. And then trying to think of what else as a kid, probably like, just like I said, Power Rangers, Pokemon, and video games. Pretty much the same gifts I would want now. So I haven't changed that much. I just bought a Pokemon game Still playing video games, and well, I haven't done anything with Power Rangers lately, but maybe I should. So.
I still put video games on my Christmas and birthday list, and thankfully my parents and spouses and my spouse.
Oh
boy!
Wow.
Whoops!
This is a
my wife and my family and in-laws. They still oblige and buy me games, even though I'm going to be 35. So I hope they don't mind. My wife Erica's always like, she's like, I don't care what you do. You play video games. It doesn't matter to me. So yeah.
Yeah, my wife still thinks they're dumb.
Oh, well,
yeah.
That's all right.
You guys have any other presents or venues or anything?
I got a couple.
Go, Justin.
All right. So, one I remember, I think this was 4th grade. I was still really into hockey. I remember that was the first time I got a hockey jersey that wasn't a Hawks jersey, and that was a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey, which started my Toronto Maple Leafs fandom that still continues to this day, 20 something years later. I remember once when I was a kid, we have video. I think my grandparents bought me, because I was so into Ninja Turtles. They bought me a Ninja Turtle mask, and you got like a little sword. Nice. And I put it on and looked in the mirror and scared the shit out of myself, because I don't know why. I didn't expect me to. I was like 6, 5. I don't know. And then I went around hitting people with the sword because I was angry. A lot of weird stuff in Justin's childhood. I remember one year, I think this would have been maybe 3rd grade. My parents bought me a pitchback so you could practice throwing.
Yeah.
No, and I was bummed. Something was wrong with it because we had to return it. So I never actually got to use it, but I don't know if
they never worked.
It was busted or something was wrong. But in terms of video games, I remember that year my mom also bought me NFL 95, which was made by Sega Sports, which was really good. And it's funny, we have video of her saying, she's like, I'm sorry, I tried to find Madden for you, but all I could find was NFL 95. I hope that was okay. And I'm looking back now, I'm like, you should have said you're lucky you're getting anything, you little shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
was Madden, I don't know. You throwing fits on your birthday. I'm sure they're probably all. They didn't want you to throw.
Thankfully, I don't do that anymore. I remember.
I was going to say, was Madden around then?
I think Madden 95 was around. I think, or it might have just been Madden NFL.
I think it was just Madden NFL.
Might have been Madden NFL.
I can't remember.
But NFL 95 was good. I played that a lot. I still boot it up on my RetroPie every once in a while. I remember one birthday, my mom's like, hey, you haven't gotten a baseball video game in a while. You want a new baseball video game? So she bought me for my birthday MLB 2000, which I played a ton. I think Mo Vaughn was on the cover of that.
I was going to say Mo Vaughn. Yep.
And I think she also bought me that year, or my parents bought me Army Men 3D too, which that was a lot of fun. I used to play that a lot too.
I remember that.
Nice. I see, for me, like I remember for my birthday, I always wanted sports jerseys. Like that was my one time to get jerseys. I had so many jerseys as a kid. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know why. I love sports, but I remember I think the most I had was basketball jerseys. And I remember one birthday I got a Shaquille O'Neal jersey when he was still on the Magic. One year I got a Reggie Miller jersey because I really liked Reggie Miller. And I think I had a BJ Armstrong Bulls jersey too. So
nice.
Yeah, of course he was. Nice. He was the shortest guy, and back then I thought he was like my height, but really he was like 6'4" instead of 6'10". So not that big of a deal. And the only other birthday thing I want to bring up is my amazing wife threw me my surprise 30th birthday party, which I was shocked that she did that. I remember when I came down the stairs when everyone surprised me, I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom. And Erica's like, no, I threw this, not your mother. I'm like, well, it was really nice. Erica,
your behavior on your birthday
is horrible. Well, your birthday is a ticket to be a jerk, right? So, that was
that's how it works.
It was amazing. I remember my other friend Greg took me out to lunch, and he made this big to do that he had to go to a wedding, so he couldn't stay long, and he literally dressed up in like a suit for my birthday lunch just to play the bit. And then he brought me back to my house, and he's like, I'll stop in and say hi to your parents because he knows them pretty well. And I came in the house, and my sister was there because they were coming in that weekend, and she goes, hey, your niece wants to see you in the basement. She's playing in the basement. And walk downstairs, and there's 40 or 50 people sitting in the basement waiting for me. The kicker though was that was A, before we redid our basement, so it looked like a complete train wreck down here, and B, the air conditioning vent was shut because it gets so cold in the basement. So you had 50 people that didn't realize the air conditioning vent was shut. And I walked down there. It was like a sauna down there. So I don't know how long people were waiting down there, but there you go. So
is that the same time your uncle busted out like the Knob Creek?
Yes. All of a sudden. Yeah. One of my coworkers for my birthday got me a thing of Knob Creek, and I had never had it before. And my uncle saw it, and then we all did shots. And my dad, who hates hard liquor, did a shot, and we have video of him looking like Michael Scott from The Office, coughing up his liquor.
So that's where you get it from.
That's where I get it from. Yeah, he's coughing like crazy. Yeah. So no, that's the only other memorable one I have. But yeah, a lot of fun, and I like to think I've changed. I'm not the snotty little punk ass kid on my birthday anymore.
No, definitely not.
You just said that you can do that though on your birthday.
Well, you should, but I don't. I'm saying other people can.
He holds it.
Erica's birthday's coming up. If she wants to be a jerk on her birthday, that's fine. So, but yeah. So there you go.
Vinny's like, oh,
yeah, I know. Vinny's biting his tongue.
I don't want to say it.
I was trying to set him up, but I didn't know if he'd take it.
No, I'm not going to take the bait. Not going to take that.
What else do you have? Do you have anything else, Vinny? Gifts, parties?
Yeah, parties. I forgot. We used to have birthday parties at our local McDonald's in Freeport. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys did that at all. We had
at the play place or something.
Yeah,
like
they had
that.
a play place, but before that, we had just like a regular McDonald's without one. And we would go there for parties, and it was fun. They would have us play games and stuff like that, and you get McDonald's for food. It was always. I remember those being. Yeah, those were always fun. But yeah, when they had the play place, that was really cool to do that. And yeah, I remember those times going to McDonald's and having birthday parties, which were always fun. But I remember my sister Erica, she had a birthday party, and we went to this place called Peanut Butter Playhouse. I think that was just a local thing in Rockford, but it was kind of like Discovery Zone, except it was they had it was like a 2-story thing of like the tubes and like
we had one of those out here too.
Structure. Yeah. It was absolutely massive, and I remember I got to bring a friend with, and me and Brian Waters were playing hide and seek in there, and he was supposed to. I ran in to hide, and then he came in like 10 seconds later to find me, but I somehow double backed and got behind him, and then like got out of the entire structure and hid on the stairwell for about like 10 minutes. I'm like, well, he's never going to find me here. And he was running around trying to find me in the play structure. And then I ended up like trying to like go in and find him and tell him that I wasn't in there anymore. But yeah, I just remember that wasn't my birthday party, but that was a really fun one. But that place ended up closing. That was shortly after. I never got to have a birthday party there. We have a place, we had a place like that near Oak Lawn. I think it was in Hickory Hills. It was called PGN. It was a mini golf course. And then it had an arcade, and then same thing, Vinny. It had like the 2-level. There was another place out in Orland called Leaps and Bounds that we would go to. Same idea. And I just remember like my dad and my uncle.
I remember hearing
Leaps and Bounds.
Place.
Yeah, it was the same idea. It was like a 2-story Discovery Zone. But I remember just looking at all the adults, like my dad and one of my uncles, and my mom might have too, like they would go in the tubes with all of us too and play and hide and seek and chase and tag and all that stuff. But I remember like all the adults would bring knee pads. I'm just like, that's so dumb. Why do you need knee pads? And now somebody who every once in a while playing ice hockey or running on the treadmill, I get horrible knee pain. I'm like, oh God, knee pads would have been a good idea.
Time for the pads.
Yeah. So
just wait till Maddie starts crawling and you chase her around and she wants you to crawl around with her.
Horsey rides.
Your knees are going to take a beating because, I have to play cards with Will, and he likes to go around the house, and he goes really fast, and I go like a snail. My knees ache, and I have to stop playing.
She, even at 4 months, she is, and I don't know because I haven't kept up with like the threshold for what each month the kids are supposed to be able to do. But like, she's so like, her feet are so strong, like kicking wise. Like I was trying to eat lunch the other day, and I had her sitting on my lap, and she literally just took her leg and kicked my plate, and it just flew everywhere. Peanut butter sandwich, chips, everything went flying. So then I picked it all back up and I put it back on the plate, and I brushed everything off. There was no dust on it. It was fine. It had like 5-second rule. Picked it all up, and she literally, then she took her foot and stomped it on the peanut butter sandwich. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess you're my kid. So
that's
I finished. I ate the sandwich. It didn't stop me. I mean, she's,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Manny, look out.
We gonna be soccer player or basketball or hockey. I don't know. Runner. Yeah, we've been watching the Olympics.
She's champion.
Kickball champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Foursquare. I don't know. But yeah. So. Yeah.
That's great. You guys, I forgot one gift before we get to our listener submissions here. And we got some good stories, but when I was in high school, I can't believe I forgot about this, but my grandma bought me my my Nike Diamond Elite baseball glove with the nice. Custom green Nike stitching on there, which I ended up relacing with because I wanted well, you guys know me, I like the black and green color scheme. Mm-hmm. So I relaced it with some cheap, like hunter green baseball lace, and that stuff did not last very long at all. So and I was just using it to play catch and pitching off the mound. So I mean, how much impact was that glove taking? But yeah, those laces shredded just about everywhere. So I'm like, oh, good thing I saved the old stuff because I relaced all the original black lacing in it. But that was a gift from my grandmother. That was an expensive baseball glove, which I still have to this day, and that became my glove, for the rest of my baseball career, so to speak. That was one of my favorite gifts of all time. Especially love for baseball and everything. So
that's funny you bring that up, Greg, because I think it's at my parents' house, and it might be here somewhere. I still have I remember once I started playing second base, my parents bought me a Barry Larkin.
Nice.
Because he played second or shortstop.
He was a shortstop.
Was
infielder.
So I played second, then I was the backup shortstop. But I remember getting that glove and thinking like, oh man, I can do anything Barry Larkin can do now.
Was that a Rawlings? Or
I believe it was a Rawlings, but I did not know you could relace them, so I never took the stitching out and relaced it. So, but it still works. It hasn't broken down yet. I mean, that thing's probably 25 years old now, where it's either at my house or my parents. So
built to last, man. Those Rawlings, Wilson, Nike's not as big as it used to be now, but no. Yeah, you need the little tool to do it. Yeah. It could get a little tricky, but once you got the hang of it, you can especially now you can relace it to any color. And I'll still do it occasionally, like some kid in the neighborhood or some, kid at the school that I work at saying, hey, can you look at my glove or something? Check it out. Can tighten it up a little bit. So
what a guy.
Still got a little bit of craft to it, can change up the colors and stuff like that. So just don't buy the cheap stuff like I did. So because it was really bad. Kind of better off with like floss or something.
Jeez. Or dental tape.
Not only does it catch the ball, but it smells minty fresh too.
I think I'm doctoring it.
Yeah. Every time you throw the ball, we're getting a whiff of wintergreen. What's going on the mound?
Yeah. What do you use it out there, son? Nothing, sir. Right. I swear. What's in your mouth? I'm like, oh, that's just my dip. So yeah. Oh, good times.
Oh my God.
Justin, do you want to take looks like your mom submitted
my mom wrote in
from she was 7. You want to take that one?
She's told me the story before, but I kind of forgot it, and she was explaining it today because she was here to watch Maddie while I was working, and it really bummed me out that this happened to her. So she said one birthday gift she got as a kid, she thinks she was about 7 years old. She was home from school sick. Someone broke into their garage and stole her bike. I know, and she grew up in Lamont, which Lamont is such a nice little town now. It was like a town and 2 horses when she lived there. She says my birthday was soon after that, and I remember my mom and dad buying me a new bike. It was even nicer than the one she had. She said it was called a Miss American Special, and actually on my Facebook page, she sent me a link of what it looked like. So it was
awesome.
It was pretty cool to see. So yeah, who breaks in and steals a kid's bike? Like that's so shitty.
Yeah, that is terrible. Unless that was like
kid.
Yeah, maybe it might have been another kid. Yeah,
or was that part of your grandparents' thing to set up the whole the whole ruse of getting the new bike, it was all part of Greg. It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. You got to make
to make it even look more special. So
you got to really make them want it. So if you want a new bike, you're going to have to earn it. We're going to take your other one.
Right. Yeah.
That's a good. I might have to keep that in mind for Maddie. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I'm a horrible father. All right, go. Who's next?
Go ahead, Vinny.
Melissa writes in, my birthday is a week before Christmas. I never really had parties because of the timing. One time my parents must have felt bad and tried to have a surprise party for me. Came downstairs into the living room, and my grandfather, grandmother, and uncle were all crammed in the corner. I don't think they yelled anything like surprise or happy birthday, nor did they speak English.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure they even knew why they were there laughing.
That's one of the only Polish words I know is stola. That's happy birthday, isn't it? Stola, stola. Your dad's probably listening. He should know.
Pretzel Vince chime in on that.
He might. And I mean, I know half my family's Polish, but we never sung stola. So, that's a good one.
I was gonna say we never acknowledged.
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah. So my great grandmother is off the boat. She came through Ellis Island and everything, but when she got here, she refused to teach any. Now I believe, and I'm gonna have to double check with my family or if any of my family's listening, but I believe she refused to teach any of the family Polish. She just wanted them to learn English. So none of us knew Polish, and she never spoke Polish until right before she passed away. It was like she forgot all her English and could only speak Polish, but unfortunately none of us could help her because we didn't speak Polish. So
Justin, I have to ask you, did she have a pony growing up?
I had a pony. No, she did not have a pony.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, people with ponies. Wait, hold on.
That's it. I had enough.
I had to wait. No,
Vanya, right? Is that her name?
Vanya.
Yeah, not Vanya. Yeah. I had to.
Vanya died.
Yeah. Vanya's dead.
Can't do it. I had the pony. No, that wasn't very good. Never mind.
That was good.
The first one was better. Now
first one was better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she was much more
Melissa
upset.
goes on. What were you gonna say,
I was just going to say she was much more upset about the potato salad. Just a random line.
Right?
Sorry, Vinny, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Melissa goes on to write, one other time I was allowed to have 5 friends come over for my party, and my sister sprayed hairspray on our bedroom door and lit it on fire. Are you starting to understand the way that I am? Holy cow.
She told us which sister it was, and that makes sense. So I'm not gonna lie, it makes sense. So
Roger Moore did that in Live and Let Die. That's how I learned to do it. Only I had to use my dad. Remember the Arid deodorant?
Yeah,
it was like spray deodorant. I would do that with like a lighter or something like that. So I saw James Bond do it in Live and Let Die. So I remember.
Nice. There
you go.
Good times.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Love it. Justin, why don't your wife wrote in? Why don't you go ahead and read that?
One of my spouses? Yes, I will.
Yes, the one of the spouses. The one we know.
Yeah. The one that matters. The one that matters. Yes. The one that matters and helps pay our mortgage. All right. Erica says, I don't really remember a super special birthday present because I think our parents saved more for big presents for us on Christmas. She said her favorite birthday party was her first grade party. It was the first time I was allowed to have friends spend the night. We played a ton of games, made our own pizzas, and everyone made their own puff paint shirt. The highlight of the night was when our teacher showed up. Holy cow. She was the best. Oh man, she had a better teacher than me because I don't think I would ever go to a kid's birthday.
I would run away if my teacher.
Yeah, she said everyone loved her, and I remember feeling so special that she would come to our house to celebrate my birthday. She goes on to say, in junior high, my mom put together a surprise party for me, and then she thought I was, and when she thought I was maybe trying to guess and figure out what was going on, she got the lady of the kids I babysit occasionally to call me up and ask me to babysit that day to throw me off, and it worked. She was totally surprised. So,
I don't remember that at all.
Speaking of spending the night, were you guys ever in the camp where you knew not to ask your parents in front of your friends because if you did, it was an automatic no? Or was that just me and my family?
Wait, what?
Like Vinny, say I wanted you to spend the night and you were over hanging out. I remember a couple times I would ask my parents in front of you, hey, can Vinny spend the night? And you'd be like, yeah, Mr. McAway, Mrs. McAway, let me spend the night. Oh man, I got in so much trouble for doing that. It was like, don't ask us unless they're not around. So,
wow.
Because then they felt guilty. They had to say yes, but I'd be like, no, you didn't have to say yes, say no. But yeah,
I never asked.
Well, they probably were. You were going to freak out on them.
What do you mean I can't have my friend spend the night? First, you didn't let me redo my donkey for Pit the Tail and the donkey, and you didn't let me cheat at Bozo Buckets. Yeah.
Justin, your parents probably lived in fear like from ages 1 to 5, and you have no idea like the torment you put them through. Just those little small videos of you acting out.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just on my birthday.
I really want to see these now. Don't
next
you?
time
Like,
we're all together.
Justin just losing his shit.
I digitized all our home movies onto a flash drive in a Google Drive.
Perfect.
So I will have to show you guys next time you come over. We'll watch, or I'll bring the flash drive.
We just make a GIF out of this.
We could do a podcast diving into why is Justin the way he is, which
we'll start off with a GIF of it first, and then go from there.
Greg and I can make comments on it.
It'll be like Mystery Science
live commentary.
It'll be like Mystery Science Theater 3000, and you guys will just be commenting on my life in general. So I like it.
Oh, so good.
Right.
Vinny, your mom wrote in. You want to take that one?
Yes. My favorite parties were with my kids. We went many times to Chuck E. Cheese as a family. And when they were in second grade, they had their first big party and sleepover.
Now Erica said first grade. There's some controversy there.
Yep. See, I told you she was lying. We try to make birthdays memorable, special, and fun. I'm pretty sure my parents probably paid the teacher to show up to it. And it wasn't just out of the goodness of the teacher's heart.
I just want to clarify that that's your commentary, Vinny, and that wasn't your mom that wrote in saying they had to pay them.
No, it's written right there.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I do see it. Yes, it's in big red fonts. I can't believe we spent $100 to pay that teacher to come see Erica. Fair enough.
Oh man. See, teacher, would you guys want your teacher to come over for your
Actually, I had a lot of good teachers.
Oh.
But now as a teacher, would I want to go maybe back in the early to mid 90s, it was obviously a different time. Now, no, I would not want to touch that at all. So, but no, I totally understand it. So
Pretzel Vince writes in, at my age, birthdays kind of blend together.
He's so old.
So my favorite birthdays are when we all get together and just have a good time. Sorry, Vinny, I forgot. Can we get the Pretzel Vince drop?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Hey, everybody. An old man's talking.
Well, get together, have a good time. I can dig that.
Yeah,
we're all in our 30s now. I'm not really big on the at least for me, I'm not big on the birthday celebrations anymore.
Yeah.
So just a good day, relaxing day. What's up, Justin?
I'll read Zach's. Then I just thought of a good Erica birthday party that I can share with you guys.
Oh, all right.
You'll appreciate this one. All right. So Zach, one of our awesome fans, he wrote in, he said, I can't remember one party and was never a big celebratory person. I think that was because most of my birthday presents most of my big presents came at Christmas anyway, because my birthday and Christmas are in the same month. Yeah, I totally get that. I always felt happy because my birthday's in June. So I feel like I had like a good 6 months spread apart.
Yep.
I could get my gifts and stuff like that. So hate to tell Maddie she's born in October. She's just gonna have to wait till Christmas. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Is that before or after you take her bike?
I'll get back to you. I'm just kidding. All right. So the last story I can share, this was for one of Erica's birthday parties. So we obviously, growing up in Oak Lawn, Eric and I bought our first house in Oak Lawn. And for anybody in the Chicago area is aware of this bar, we went to a bar for her birthday called Bourbon Street, which I think I've talked about on this podcast. I hate that bar. I don't like it. It's too big.
I was there with you once.
Yes, this is the one I'm talking about.
This is the one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So we went to that bar, and if you've never been there, you walk in, the first part's a restaurant. The second part is more like it's got a bunch of TVs. It's more loud. I don't know, more like this, like a dance clubby area. And then you walk in the back, there's a really nice
clubby.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know if that's what you'd call it. And then there's the beer garden area, which is really nice. I don't mind sitting there. And then there was another area for private events and stuff like that. Bands and stuff would perform there. But anyway,
live music. Her
birthday's in February, so it's always cold. It's always snowy, much like today. And so we went there. You guys were there. Some of her friends were there. Vinny, your parents were there. We had a nice time. We had some food and stuff. And after a little while, we got up to leave. And because it had snowed before, during the time we were there, all the parking lanes, you couldn't see where the lanes were. So Erica's car got boxed in by all these cars, and we could not get in the car because it was boxed in.
Ooh, yeah,
and she was irate. It also didn't help that she may have been overserved a little bit, I guess. This was Erica in her 20s still, so that might be why.
Other breaking news: water wet.
Yes, the college version of Erica would not be happy with the current version of her. But anyway, so we get outside. We don't know what to do because pretty much everyone had left at that point besides Erica's one good friend, Ashley and Barry. And we're boxed in. There's no way to go. And I mean, thankfully, the bar was only probably like a 15-minute walk from our house because we lived right on 111th. But it was cold. It was February, right? And so she's just, I can't believe this. And she's, F-bomb this, F-bomb that. I'm going to go back and talk to security and they're going to take care of this right now. Oh, and I'm gosh. Like, yes. And as someone who was stone cold sober, because I was driving, I think, I'm like, Erica, the security guard's not going to do anything. And B, they don't give a shit. It's not their problem. You're in the parking lot. Bourbon Street doesn't own the parking lot. That's not right. People today, and she's just going on and on and on. And so thankfully, our friends Ashley and Barry, we all piled into their car. And I think Barry had like a Honda Civic. So imagine, me and Erica and your mom and dad, and then Ashley and Barry piling into a Honda Civic, the six of us. And thankfully it was only, a 2-minute car ride. So we drove to our house, got our car. And then the kicker was, me and your dad, Vinny, went back to go get Erica's car. And in the midst of all that 15 minutes, we were gone. All the cars across the train were gone. They were all gone.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, she was so mad. She was so angry about that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I totally did too.
Did we just left? Did we
I think you guys might have left early. You might have left earlier,
okay.
maybe. You had had enough in Bourbon Street, which if you could have taken me with you, I would have went to. But
yeah, didn't I order like a bucket of Miller Lights, and then I found out like everyone around didn't drink. So,
yeah, a lot of either didn't drink or they didn't drink Miller or they didn't drink beer in general. But yes, I do remember that. But I think you took it like a champ and you drank them.
Took it like a champ, drank all 5 of them. So
yeah,
good job, Greg.
Not gonna let that money go to waste,
right? Of course not. It was a pretty good price too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that plays a little nutty for me. I don't know.
That was kind
of like over my bar phase a little bit. So
yeah,
like,
well, I never had
like,
one.
All right.
Yeah, and that was also the place where a bunch of people from like Oakland High School would hang out, and it's like if I don't still talk to you, I probably don't need to see you. So, so I'm an asshole. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
I was going to bring up too because my wife Ashley didn't write in, but for her birthdays, I know you guys have been parts of this too, but we do the escape rooms.
Yeah.
And we just did one a couple months ago. What was that? That was the Saw themed one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we beat that. Was like the first one we beat, I think, since we've been doing stuff like that.
Yeah, they took 3 of you guys and they put you all in a cage and we had to unlock the cage to get you out, which was kind of interesting. So I liked it though. That was fun.
We did that a couple times for her birthday, and some of them, I remember the first one we did was pretty challenging, but we were all new to it too, and we didn't have a clue. I think we were paired with some other people too. Yeah. So they were no help.
That was the first time we realized that there was a whole other room, and that was not good.
Said escape room, not escape rooms.
Yeah, that's false advertising. And I think also was it her birthday when we went to the casino and we all lost money. So
you brought on my birthday pod.
On your birthday, the birthday podcast.
That was it. You were correct on that. That was the green machine.
The green machine, yeah. And Ashley still thinks that was my fault. I don't know if it was, but
I don't blame you.
Do it.
Yeah, I was going full. And I wasn't like too. Ashley was more. I remember she was more pissed that she.
And then she got really mad at the end. And then I remember her and Erica were going to race up the stairs. And did one of them fall? I don't remember. I
think both of them did.
Yeah,
wouldn't say that. Did. So I
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I remember you put $20 in the machine, Justin.
On accident, yeah. I was like, I'll do slot machines for half an hour, and I accidentally did like the quadruple bet, and my $20 was gone in one spin. So
yeah, good job, Justin.
Yeah, real good gambler over here. Let me tell you. Take the under. So
birthdays.
Good times.
I had one more story. You guys should remember this for Pretzel Vince. I don't know if you guys remember, but we surprised him for his birthday. It was around St. Patrick's Day one year, and they came up to Madison.
Yeah.
And we all met at this restaurant, which was it was like an Irish pub.
Can I pause you really quick, Vinny? What was the name of that place? Because I remember what I got there, and it was freaking amazing. Cully's in Madison.
Yeah, it's that restaurant location. I don't know if they're still open there.
Oh,
but
well,
yes,
really quick, let me explain to you why I ordered a burger there. Big surprise, but it was this huge patty, and it came with like a cube of deep fried mozzarella just smashed on there. It was like a mozzarella cube, breaded deep fried mozzarella cube on the burger, and I was like, "This is the greatest day ever." I feel like it's my birthday, so. Cully's in Madison. Thank you very much. I've been trying to figure that out, and I keep forgetting to ask you every time I see you. But please continue.
Sure that's closed now.
Oh, damn it! Never mind.
Yeah, it's no. I'll have to
cross
double
it
check
off
on
then.
the bar name, but I'm pretty sure it was Cully's. But yeah, we set it up so they had no idea you were coming up. They just thought they were coming up for a weekend, and we were going to celebrate his birthday like the next weekend, and so. Yeah, they came up. We brought them into there. You guys were already there, and seated. And so we sat down next to you guys, and he was completely unaware that you guys were sitting there for about, I feel like almost 5 minutes, and he was completely shocked. And like, I don't know, someone said something to him and he goes, "Oh, wow, you guys were sitting there. Wow." And I'm like, "Dad, what did you think was going on?" And he thought it was because it was like an Irish pub restaurant that, you know, everybody just sits together and everybody's one big family of strangers and, you know, people you're with. I'm like, "No, it's a restaurant.
It's restaurant.
You got a reservation.
Right.
Like, this is a restaurant. I don't know what the heck you're."
Well, I remember your mom said, "Well, I don't want to sit with people I don't know." And Pretzel was like, "Oh, I don't care. Shot the beer. Yeah, I'm good. So I'll make friends with anyone." And getting back to the casino too. Yes, he made like 3 friends there.
He did because he didn't gamble. He just sat at the bar.
He just sat at the bar and made like new friends. So that's Pretzel Vince.
There you
yes,
go.
It is.
There.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember the guy with the bagpipes came in and played the Ireland national anthem. Do you remember that? He was like jumping from bar to bar. I'm like, that was awesome. So he was wailing on those bagpipes. So yeah, that was a fun time.
Vinny, was there another time? It was either for Easter or for a birthday where we came up by you in one of your apartments, and then we went somewhere, and like I almost chopped your finger off in the window, like. Or am I thinking of something else?
In the car?
Yes.
I had my hand. Oh, that probably happened. That's happened to me numerous times where I have my hand in the window and someone rolls it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
A common occurrence in your life, Vinny.
Yeah, it seems.
That's why he looks like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Danny Tardival over there?
Well, I got no more baseball baseball. Birthday stories. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I think I've covered everything. At least I remember. So
I know as soon as we end the call, I'm gonna remember something.
Yeah.
But,
I remember that. So
well, before we go, I just want to say I just saw a tweet. Bob Nightingale has said that this is the Mariners' year to make the playoffs. So breaking news: the lockout will continue the entire season. So
right. Oh boy,
guy's an idiot. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know, Vinny, you got anything else before we wrap up?
Oh yes. The restaurant, it's not Cully's. I don't know why I was thinking Cully's. It's maybe no, I'm trying to look it up. It's Broke BROCACH.
Oh,
is what it's called.
Can you spell it again?
BROCACH. Broke.
If I was a good Irish guy, which I'm a lot of Irish too, I don't know any Gaelic, so I can't help you there. Sorry. Don't know any Polish. Don't know any Gaelic. I'm batting 1,000 here. Greg, you got anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all, boys. Good stuff.
Think so.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, thank you again for everyone listening. If you're still listening, be sure to check out our YouTube channel by searching Baseball and Whatever. Subscribe. That would be great. You can text us or leave us a voicemail at 913-808-3278. That number again is 913-808-FART. You can Twitter us. You can tweet us at Baseball and What. You can email us at baseballwhatever@gmail.com or baseballwhateverpodcast at bellyupsports.com. We are on all available podcast networks. We also can be found on Facebook at facebook.com/baseballandwhatever. Go on Apple. If you're on Apple Podcasts, send us a good review, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever you want to give us would help out. I think we're at 12 reviews already. The more, the merrier.
Nice.
You can also continue to buy merchandise at bonfire.com/baseball and whatever. If you want to check that out, we got some potential exciting stuff in the works. If some things come to fruition, so we will see there. And yeah, I guess that's it. Have a great weekend, and we will be back for more fun and tomfoolery next week on Baseball and Whatever. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.